walking on the city lights, carry something heavy on my mind. And on the city lights, realize how fucked up is my life. Cause everywhere I go I feel alone. I need some remedy, someone to heal my soul. And everyone I got, I still got nothing. Need someone my own, someone that I call home. And I'm falling, and I'm falling, and I'm falling, falling for you. And I'm falling, and I'm falling, and I don't know what to do. I'm walking on the city lights, shaking and trembling out of my mind. And on the city lights, searching in clouds, something I can't find. Cause everywhere I go I feel alone. I need some remedy, someone to heal my soul. Yeah. Everyone I got, I still got nothing. Need someone my own, someone that I call home. And I'm falling, and I'm falling, and I'm falling, falling for you. And I'm falling, and I'm falling, and I don't know what to do. Blinded, blinded by the thought of you. Surrounded, surrounded by the things that I'm falling, and they're falling, and I'm falling, falling for you. And I'm falling, and I'm falling, and I don't know what to do. Falling, and I'm falling, and I'm falling, falling for you. And I'm falling, and I don't know what to do. I'm walking on the city lights.
For a seed to bloom, it has to be in the dark soil.
To fucking bully.
Oh
That
man!
you've been with us, and see you next Monday. Hello everybody, good evening on another edition of Night Ignition Podcast. Today's topic, masculinity. And Sarah already yelled in between I was talking. That's how enthusiastic she is about this podcast. So with me tonight is Sarah. Ula and Jaka are held back. One is working, one is going on vacation. Alright, so the awesome Sarah is here.
Just us then, not going on vacation.
Not going on vacation or not working late. Alright, cool. So, masculinity. That's the topic for tonight. Let's look at it. I was searching for different definitions and to get the world of it. Right, so this time for a change I will use Wikipedia, and everything is working. Cool. Masculinity, also called manhood or manliness, is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with men and boys. Although sociologists think of masculinity as a socially constructed, there is also widespread recognition that some behaviors considered masculine are influenced by both cultural factors and biological factors. To what extent masculinity is biologically or socially influenced is subject to debate. of course. It is distinct from the definition of the biological male sex, as both males and females can exhibit masculine traits. And I will just add a little more. Standards of manliness or masculinity vary across different cultures and historical periods, and traits traditionally viewed as a masculine in Western society include strength, courage, independence, leadership, and assertiveness. Machismo is a form of masculinity that emphasizes power and is often associated with a disregard for consequences and responsibility. Alright, we had the, let's say, official version of what masculinity is. It's traits or attributes that usually man possesses. And to ask you, Sarah, and of course everybody who is watching this, share with us in the chat, what masculinity represents for you. When you hear word masculinity, what are the first thoughts going through your head?
Well, actually, the first thoughts are machismo. Did I say that right?
Yeah, machismo.
Machismo, yeah. And the first thing I have is that nowadays men are not masculine and a lot of women are. That's something that I'm present to actually when I hear that.
All right, and what does it mean for you? Like in what regards you see, all right, men are not and women are. So what are those traits that men don't have and women now have?
Okay, yeah, I got it. I think that the biggest thing I see is like being strong, not particularly being strong, but representing yourself as being really strong and a macho and just that. So being a macho.
All right. And if you would say being a macho, right? Now I'm being curious right now. When you say macho, what do you see? Like what kind of guy is macho for you? So
Oh, I got it. I can handle everything. I'm the strongest here. I have everything under control. Something like that.
all right. Something that represents responsibility, you can rely on him, and safety.
No, I wouldn't say that, but
right.
maybe quite the opposite. Saying that you are responsible, even when you know you can't handle it.
All right. And that is macho.
Yeah, I see it like that.
All right, cool. Hi, Ultra. All right, cool. For me, first, when we choose this topic, masculinity, I was like, what the heck are we gonna talk about here? I have no idea what it is, right? Because in terms of English, masculinity, or it's something to do with manhood, manliness, like it says, but it didn't have. So now to think about, and from this definition, what it means to me is like, yeah, alpha male. That is what masculinity is. You're alpha. You're the dog, the leader. You're the one that like leads the way. Everybody comes to you, and it's kind of a mix with machismo, where you actually fake it till you make it, or you just fake it. So you represent yourself as like, I'm the dog, when in fact you're just a chihuahua. But all right, Ursula said, for me, masculinity is not connected to gender. Masculinity involves skills like rationality, being in control, strong, not having emotions involved, having this being alpha vibe. Yeah, and immediately leaning now on what Ursula shared with us is like, it's not okay if a man shares his feelings. That's like unacceptable. That's like, the pussies do that, to be honest, right? Like women does that, and it's okay for women, but men, no. It's like, that's forbidden. Ursula, haha, you saying, me writing at the same time, the alpha thing. Yeah, true that. So yeah, and in regard of that, right, I would say there's a lot of misconception, to be honest, these days. Even from what I wrote, masculinity, right? It's not sex orientated, but it's more of a the attributes or the traits. So the strength, courage, independence, leadership, and assertiveness. And then you look these days, like you, Sarah, said, there are many women who also have this trait. They're independent, they're strong, they are leaders leading one of the biggest companies or NGOs, stuff like that, right? They are courageous. And then we would say, all right, she acts like a man. So anything to share from, and like I said before, everybody who is listening, you're also included in that. You can share with us that you are we can go look this from this perspective, right? So you acted a certain way and people said that is not how ladies act, or that is not how women act, that is how men act. So can you be more ladylike? Did you ever were involved in this kind of conversation, you per se, or it was around you?
Yes, but when I think of it, as Ursha said, that man things are like being rational, in control, strong. I think that these are things that a woman can be also, but there are also other things when they say, I don't know, girls don't do that. And that is, I think that in most cases, at least with teenagers, more they mean more like, I don't know, playing in the mud and things like that. I think that's more of a problem as I see it, because, well, maybe I'm too much involved in this world of, I don't know, companies and that, but I think that the problem here is when they start dividing what boys and what girls do when we are still young, when we are actually still kids.
All right, then were you involved in anything like that that kind of defined or you were really impacted in your life?
Not really, but now I remembered that when I was a kid and it was just me and my brother, he was playing with me and with my Barbie dolls, and I was thinking, and I just caught myself, I was thinking, but you shouldn't play with my dolls, that's not what boys do. Yeah.
All right. So he was playing with dolls, but basically he was playing with you.
Yeah.
But you saw it like, hey, you're playing with dolls. That's not what boys do. So you basically missed on that he is playing with you.
Yeah, but in the same time, it was perfectly okay if I was playing with, I don't know, Legos or these cars and stuff like that, because, you know, that's okay if a girl play with that, but it's not okay for a boy to play with dolls.
Yeah. All right. Got it. Nice one. So for me, it was like I was training ballroom dances, right? The ballroom and Latin American dances, which is basically couple dancing from my 8th year until 18, and it was something like no, I don't remember somebody per se said that is bad, real men don't do that, but the vibe was out there. You could hear it even though it was not spoken, right? People look down on you like you don't play football, basketball, men's sports, you dance. You dance, you know what I mean? And in that regard, I would say I felt excluded as a man in a company of men. So in that regard, I always rather, like, I had never problem communicating with women friendly way. Let's leave out the romantic type, because it was awkward for me as well. But friendly, I could be friends, I would say, easier with women than or with girls than boys at that time. And yeah, I would say it was excluded because it's not masculine enough. At least it was not seen as that. Now that is changing because, you know, more and more, and it's for longer here, and you see the male dancers, and they're all fit, they're all capable, they can play many sports. I can play any sport, basically, almost any sport. I start playing, I can play it. But yet, right, it was perceived as, it's not masculine. That's not what boys do. Boys don't dance. Boys play football. Boys play with balls. Boy plays with Legos. They don't play with dolls, and they for sure don't dance. Right? and it's got to do with my dad. So my dad wished that we train, and I wanted to train football, and that is the only sport my parents were not allowing me to play, but they were not okay with it. They said, if you play football, you know, you will have legs on O, and you will be a lot of injuries, you know, and stuff like that. And it's not a very healthy sport in that regard. So that was their opinion at the time. Even though my dad played a lot of the small football, the, you know, 5-on-5s. But yeah, anyway. So I didn't do that, and then when I was looking next, my schoolmate was training dancing, so he was my good friend at school, and then, you know, I went there because he was there, and I was hooked. And then my dad later shared, like, of all the sports existing, my boys decided to dance. Right? So I have 2 boys, and they were both dancing. It's like, of all the sports available. We were playing tennis, but nothing. We weren't sticking to it. We were stuck to dancing. I mean, stuck. We choose dancing, and that just wasn't. Yeah, you know.
Something he wanted for you.
Yeah, it's not masculine, right? He was not raised that way, but he never was opposing. He never said you can't dance, so I will not support this, stuff like that. But you could just, you know. Like I said, some things doesn't need to be spoken, and you can feel the vibe. So Ursha said, I believe there are some professions where women without masculinity skills cannot survive. Alright, that can be next topic that we look into masculinity. But yeah, I would say going to the childhood where we started. I mean, that's just ridiculous. There are kids playing together. Doesn't matter what they're playing with. And I think there's this afraidness, right, for boys, that if they will play with dolls, they will be gays. Or they will be, you know, they will be weird. I mean, they're already weird because they play with dolls. But if they keep on playing with dolls, they will be even weirder. And it's not what boys do. But it's okay if... But it's also not okay to look like that. If a girl would be playing with, I don't know, Action Man, you know, something, or He-Man, or Marvel heroes, or something really masculine. Because Legos are not like that. You can build village. You can turn any cowboy village into pretty village. You know, you can put curtains on. You do some extra stuff, and use your pink Flowmaster, or you know, the color, and you color it so that, you know, you can turn it, right? But I think it's coming from this fear that if they do it, it's because as a society, Western society, we are not okay with that. It's only 2 genders exist, men and women. No gays, no bi, no transsexual, nothing. Men and women. And men do this and women do this, and if you don't this, you might be too girly, or you will be too masculine, and you won't get a boy. If you will be too masculine, who will want to be, you know, it's all those stereotypes are showing in this case. I think masculinity is really stereotyping from my experience. But alright, let's look at it from profession way, right? Masculinity skills. So women without masculinity skills cannot survive. So we said before, masculinity skill is strength, courage, independence, leadership, and assertiveness.
Yes, 100%. But maybe the thing is that some professions are like that you, not you, but women are not really women as we not should, but as we can be. And it's easier to be more masculine than being, how is the opposite of masculine?
Feminine.
Feminine. And it's just easier to be masculine and pretend like you are strong and independent and you have everything under control, when in fact, sometimes you just don't. I mean, maybe it's like that. I see it like that. I was in one of the workshops when a CEO of a big Slovenian company of a big Slovenian company shared that when she was like her, but not the feminine her, but playing to be a masculine her, that she was leading a company as her husband would, and things weren't as good as they are now when she's really feminine. So maybe the thing is that yes, we in some profession we absolutely have to be masculine to survive, but sometimes it's just that we are not allowing ourselves to be feminine. Not that we are talking about feminism today, but I think it's connected.
Yeah, and it's not feminism, it's feminine, right? Just like masculine. We're not talking about masculinism as well, right? Just to put that aside. And I think that there are two things here. So one is what you're saying. It is, right? You see women, like my mom is also leading a company for 30 years, right? And she also have these traits that I just said before. You could say she's leading it in a masculine way with some traits, right? And you're a woman and you can lead different types. So I think one thing is that then women starts acting like men instead of discover what leadership is in a women way, or what strength would, you know, because masculine is so much out there, and we know it's like a meritocracy. It's leading with authority, with hard hand, and we all experienced it throughout. You know, you can see it everywhere. It's all around us, right? And that is what you know. And leading it any other way,
it's weak.
I would say it's yeah, all right.
The eyes of
it might represent weak, right? Yeah. That is true, and it's out of comfort zone. Yeah, it's not accepted, or it's not how it should be done.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have these ladies in Slovenia who are leading big companies. I know one is in Novo Mesto, one is in Trebnje, one is somewhere else. I know these three, and these are big companies, and all women are CEOs, and they find their way of leading it, and they're all very successful companies. And they were all at a certain point that they took over on the verge of breakdown. I think all of them were threatened to stop existing, or they went through a really rough times, and then something changed and they flourished. And I think that was it, what you were just sharing, right? So because you're a woman, and being strong as a woman is not the same as being strong as a man. Just like, and I think this is here to be discovered. And all right, masculinity, now that I look at it, it's very stereotyping. Like, right? You're strong, courageous, independent, leader, and assertive. Yeah. So if you have any of these traits, you're masculine.
Yeah.
And if a woman have this, she's masculine. That's not how ladies do things. So yeah, in business worlds, I would say I dealt with women leaders but not as a, all right, besides my mom, I'm leaving my mom out of here because she's my mom. I cannot, I cannot objectively state. I can be very subjective, not too much of her, so wouldn't go into that. But working for some other companies, so I would say they were managers, my managers, but they were not the alpha in company, so to speak, right? They were not the CEOs, or they were not the head of department in Slovenia. They were like managing some area.
Middle management.
Yeah, middle management, great word. And that was okay. They were there leading us, they were still being, for me, they were still being strong, they were being leaders, they looked like independents, they were courageous, but it was not dealt in masculine way. I don't know how to say it otherwise. It was not dealt with hard hand, it was not dealt with authority, it was dealt with great sense of respect and care. So Karina says, hi both, hi Karina. Jacinda Ardern, the youngest Prime Minister of New Zealand, is known for leading the feminine way. She even had a baby while in office. Alright, yeah, we know her. Many people don't like her around the world, but New Zealand, I guess they accept her. And yeah. I mean, that is definitely the next step. Just acknowledge, right? Look, here are women, here are men. One is leading one way, one is leading the other way. I think the right question here to ask would be, which one is working better? Not better, but which one is working for you, for the company? Are the people employed satisfied? Are they coming to work with a purpose and they see they're actually fulfilling on the purpose of company? And I think that would be here, and definitely masculinity. All right, it can be there, but it's not necessary for success. Alright, Usha said, I believe each of us have a masculinity side and softer side. It depends on situation which prevails. So why did you say softer side? Alright, why everybody has masculinity side and feminine side? Why softer? Are women soft? I don't know, Sarah, are you soft? Are you a softie?
Softer than a man.
So I love how we people abuse words, right? Women are softer than men. So what, on touch? So if you touch a man, that's like a hard rock. If you touch a woman, it's soft. Right? I know she wrote softer, and I would say, yeah. I mean, definitely, Not a lot.
I guess she
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah. We all get what she meant, but I'm just messing with her a little bit here, and with how we abuse words. And in this case, I can share this. Look, Native Americans, they believe in 5 genders. So you have a male, you have a female, you have a male in female body, you have a female in male body, and then you have female and male in one body. Right? So they have couples who, they had, right? Back in the days. Now most of them are we all know the history, or if you don't know, you can go search it up. But that's what they never had any problems, Men could dress up as a woman and be married to a woman, and they could have family, and nobody would be ha about it, or awkward or weird about it. They were just like, all right, that's their way. And then you come into Western society, and somebody says, I'm bi, and everybody's like an atomic bomb dropped into the room. I like men and women. Damn, what's wrong with you? That must be a disease. Right? Or boy dressing up as a girl, or girl dressing up as a boy, and oh shit, they're gay. Alright, who cares? But and it's very stereotyping, and I think because we need to figure everything out and know everything, and it's just robbing us of experience of other people. I also said I didn't know how to name it. I put it in the brackets. English is not my first language. Come on. Oh, now she is apologizing. Are you justifying it? Are you? It's okay. We got it. And no worries. It was not ha ha ha. It was just like you. It's not you're the only one who says soft. It's like it's out there, right? Even Sarah agree with you. Yeah, softer. Women are softer than men. And I'm like, you guys give birth.
Yeah, that's
How
true.
the heck are you softer than guys? You know that we guys cannot handle that amount of pain.
Yeah, maybe that's why we're softer, because we can squeeze it out, Softer.
we spread, we're soft, so the baby can pop out, and that's why and now we have the answer, Sarah. We finally figured out why men cannot give birth, because we're not soft enough. We're not masculine enough. We're not soft, not feminine, but soft. But yeah, going to that, I think that there is a lot of what this masculinity and femininity is causing in these definitions that we read, and how the society perceives it. It's doing us a big favor in a not workable way for a society. Like I shared before, is if as a guy you shared your feelings and how how something exists for you, and you do not appear as a strong, as an independent, but you appear as maybe afraid, or maybe you don't know the answers, you don't have it in control because you never dealt with this situation before, or you don't know how to solve it. I would say that is where it's robbing a lot of guys, and why then a lot of men are alcoholics or drug addicts or gamble addicts. You gotta have to know it. You gotta you have to figure it out on your own, and if you don't have it together, you gotta somehow compensate, because that, I would say, not being okay by it gotta be expressed in a certain way. So how do you detach from that? Is you drug yourself in some way or another way. So it's either alcohol, or it's drugs, or it's something. You gotta put it to sleep so it doesn't chew you up. And I would say that is the biggest pitfall of masculinity, how men should be. And then it's robbing a lot of ladies who are masculine. They appear as careerists.
Okay.
Really driven by career. And when you look at the being of those ladies, there is no soft side there. There is no feminine side there. There is just like this strong drive, the attributes of a man, and I will succeed in a man's world. I got, And then you have these weird things going on. Then you have these ladies who doesn't have periods for a long time. Nobody knows why.
Yeah. It's happening.
Yeah. And it's robbing us a lot of, like I said, human experience, and allowing us to be human with each other. Really be human in all of its experience. Whatever your experience, you can express it and share it, and that will be okay, accept it. So masculinity is really a good topic to share about, to talk about, and it's we can be honest here. We have no idea what we're gonna be talking, so we are discovering it with you guys. So thank you, Karina and Ursha, to be so much in conversation. And yeah, what would be the next thing in masculinity? I would say let's leave it aside and let's us all discover newly, right? What does it mean to be first human, and then what does it mean to be a man? And whatever anyone comes up with, it's okay. But I don't know what else to say. You gotta help me out here, Sarah. How do you see that?
Actually thinking about if we put that aside, that stereotypes, what is there that it stays and what it actually means to be a man aside from the physical appearance? Is there actually anything that represents our man, or is everything just a stereotype? What do you think?
By nature?
Yes.
I would say by nature, if you look like human being from which the body is the same, right? But the environment is not the same as it was like 100,000 years ago, right? 100,000 years ago, man was a hunter.
Yeah.
He was the one going out. He was the one doing the protecting. He was the one doing the hard work, and ladies were taking care of the families and gathering the food close to the home, taking care of the village or caves or whatever was going on.
So maybe that's where it all started, the strong one, because back then he actually was stronger, but not in a way that we think of today, but physically stronger. And maybe that's how it all started.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, and then because we don't need to hunt animals anymore, right?
Yeah.
Then nowadays it looks like men gotta do the harder job, men gotta work, women not, and then you have all this rise of women that we want to work as well and start raising kids and working and being independent and strong. And then I just have this thought, maybe that is also one of the factors why there are so many people divorcing these days. Everybody want to be strong.
Yes.
And then you have two people together who wants to beat each other, because being strong is also then it's very close to being competitive. And then you have a relationship where you're actually competing with each other. So how is that gonna work out?
Yeah.
So I would say the technology goes with time, we could put it that way. But as a human beings, we don't evolve. we kind of stick to that thing that's masculine. I mean, we do evolve. We cannot say we don't, because Karina just shared about New Zealand. But yeah. I mean, there you have this saying, well, it's a man's world. But it's also, what the heck are you talking about, Say that in tribe in Africa. I mean, I think they will roast you on a fire when you say it's a man's world. Or if you would go, back in days in some cultures, they would say, what the heck are you talking about? How can a man exist without women? And vice versa. It's, and it's a man's world. There you go. I would say that is the masculinity also was all, misinterpreted, like we just discovered before, like you said.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Man's world because it's strong and because women shouldn't do that. And that's just the masculinity behind that.
Yeah, but I would say, looking at newly, we abuse that as well. It's just alright. It's one of the human things to abuse things, right? Because masculinity by default is not good or bad, or just some traits that men develop is in there by nature, so to speak. That are men's attributes, and then you have women's attributes, because by default women are more caring, right? If you look how boys play, little boys and little girls, they play totally different. Let's say Ty, he is all about smash. He is like a Hulk. Everything is smash. But he can still, touch you very genderly, even though most of the time is smash. Then you have little girls who are all about, softness and caring. And I would say that is by default is there. But then growing up, we have a choice. You can be man and you can be very loving and caring and strong, whatever is necessary in a certain circumstances, or whoever you want to be. In different circumstances, you can be whoever you want to be. So there is this, and then we kind of set this up like we discovered before. Boys should not play with dolls. That will put them in a whole weird space. And then also, I just remembered, not just business, but you have these traits, right? If a man is a hairdresser, all right, nowadays it's more and more accepted.
Yeah.
But it's like, back in the days it was weird.
That's right.
What do you mean man is doing a women haircut? Or I know sometimes cooking was like that, right?
Yes.
It's for women, but then most of the top chefs of the world are men. So what? So this masculine, I don't know. It's a very weird topic. The more that we discover it,
the weirder it gets.
The more it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't work. It seems unworkable for these days.
Yes. Yes, and when you see a hairdresser that is a man, and sometimes they even act a little bit girlish, and then it's again everything wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. How I look at newly, so you have this masculinity, and that is how you rate men by. Or if a woman appears like that, and it just gives us another thing to judge people on, to give us the right to have our opinion of who is masculine and who is not. You don't act like a boy.
Yeah.
Because I play with a doll. Yeah. You should play with Action Man. Well, I don't have Action Man. Well, say to your parents that buy you an Action Man. Why are you playing with the doll? Damn. It's really weird. I'm just present to how much it caused really a lot of unworkability in society. How much a lot of it that is going. Everybody wanna be strong, independent, leader. What else did we say? Courageous, assertive. And it's just wrong if you're loving and tender and curious and caring. It's just like a man nurse. I mean, in Slovenian, we don't even have a word for a man nurse.
Yeah, that's right.
Now we do. It's called, all right, women are, I don't know how to say, medical sister, and then man is a medical brother. But that is just of a late couple of years back.
And it still sounds a little bit
weird.
off.
Yeah? Huh?
I wonder if, I don't know, maybe school options or job options would be choices, not options, choices would be different if there weren't so much of the masculinity present. I think it would make a difference in schools.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's more and more that is destroying. But let's say I lead workshops, and tomorrow I lead workshops at a high school of cosmetics,
Okay.
and I will leave 2 workshops to 30 girls in each workshop, so 60 girls, only girls, altogether.
Yeah.
That is like one of the traits now that only girls do, cosmetics.
Mm.
And I'm like, all right, there we go. That's feminine job. That's cool. It's not masculine to be a cosmetic. It's only a matter of time when men will start doing that as well. And anyway, Ursha said, knowing all that now, how do you want to raise your children in this respect?
Mm. Actually, I was just thinking earlier when you actually showed me that you bought your son a kitchen, and I was thinking what a great way of showing him that cooking is not only for girls. And you know, if he likes cooking on his toy, maybe he will like cooking when he's a man, which is actually really awesome, because I think that a lot of men nowadays are not really, they don't like to be in the kitchen. So that's an awesome example of how to raise kids nowadays. And if I answer it myself, I think that now that I know that, I will be definitely more present to these words or to these phrases. I don't know, girls don't do that or boys don't do that. I will definitely avoid those.
All right. And for me, how I want to raise my child is to be a loving, caring, confident, and what else? And independent on this way. Yeah, independent is the English word, and independent. So, you know, and responsible. That is also one thing. That is how I want to raise my child with these things. So he gets to know as soon as he will start speaking, whatever he says is his choice, and that will have consequence. So, and then we will deal with it however we will deal with it when it comes to that. But really, then that he is responsible for his actions as soon as he is aware of what the consequences are, of if he does that, what are the possible consequences, and he gets to realize, all right, if you do that, you're accountable for all the consequences. So don't come cry, hey, daddy, la la la. No, daddy, la la la. You did that, so you deal with that. And daddy will have to deal with that if you will do something that will involve police and etc. But you all get what I mean. So that is how I want to raise it. So I was raised that, like, before I met Ursha, I still don't need a woman to survive, as a man. I know how to cook for myself, different dishes. I know how to iron clothes, clean. So I know all that. So no need woman for that, which I think you were referring to before. Like, a lot of men are avoiding kitchen, don't like to cook, so they actually need a woman to survive, or they need to eat outside, so they need to have a lot of money. so right, which is to be strong and independent, to not show your weakness. All right, Karina says, what about the label real men do are the X? This is an exertion used only for men. I've never heard anyone say real women are do.
Funny thing is that they say real men do that, but when it comes to women, the saying is that is something a woman should do, not a man, for example.
Or there is something that women do. Women
Yes.
do. Yeah.
Yes. And yes, it's true. There is not a saying real women do that or don't do that. So that's actually a whole new topic to cover.
And you know, there is a saying, how real men shave. Do you guys know how real men shave? Oh, I went so low now. I wasn't paying attention. I was suddenly lower than you on the. Anyway, you know how real men shave? They don't.
Okay.
But that's how it goes. That's what they say. That is the saying. You know, and then all of us who does, we are not real men. So you know, if you think you're really macho and you have no hair on your face, forget about it. Real men don't shave. Right, but I think we are abusing these things. You know, these days I would say rarely anybody knows what a real man is, because nobody is hunting, mammoth, right?
Yes, that's right.
So, and even when you look into the historical books, it was shown that not only men but the whole village were hunting that. So, how do you know it's only men? But anyway, I think we are abusing that, so something was put on the society to live a certain way. Who knows for what reason? But we are here to break taboo topics. So I would say real men don't do shit just like real women don't do shit. Just like you, Sarah, you do what you do. And if you're the only woman in the world that does that, that is also what women do. Women do. That's a multiple, right? And if I'm the only man who irons his clothes in the world, I'm not a woman because of that. If I'm a man and I do that, that's what men do. So.
And
Well,
it is really empowering, doesn't it?
yeah. So it doesn't matter, man. I mean, all those generalization really leaves out uniqueness of a human being, and it puts you somewhere into some cube or into some box or prison which is not existing for real,
Yeah.
and not really allowing for you to be fully self-expressed, whatever that means for each of us. So what about the profession midwife? I mean, yeah, as well. I don't know in hospitals how many midwife men are there. Even I host a guy, Paul Goldman, who, I hope I said his name right now, but even when I hosted him, I need to put midwife, not midman, in his profession, right? So it's a guy, Paul Goldman, midwife, not midman, right? It's also stereotype on a women's side, right? And that is where we are actually doing us, like I said, not a favor as a humanity to work together and be happy, and it's okay for who you are and what you do, but it's still stereotyping.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting, or did I just miss a few words? But in vocabulary, there is a lot of professions that have a, I don't know, woman in or midwife, for example. But are there any professions where there is only men? I don't think there are.
I have no idea from the top of my head.
Me neither.
I was reading Slovenian language dictionary. I wasn't reading really much of English, even though I had the Oxford dictionary and Cambridge dictionary at home, but wasn't really paying attention to that, so I don't know. I cannot answer you if there is a profession that has, like a midwife, that it says doctor man.
Yes. Here. For example. Yeah.
All right, interesting thing to look into. But Karina says, when the American Indians were hunting, the feminine qualities were important to hunt, especially intuition. They trained it. So it's like, and to answer you on a man thing, Karina says mailman, policeman, handyman.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but
it
there
is.
is also police woman,
I am male woman,
but
police
there is
woman,
not a meat man.
yeah. There is a nurse, but it's not like a nurser. Nurseman.
Okay. Yeah, again a woman.
Yeah. So all right, cool thing to catch, right? So general professions, general that are more man type, are not excluded saying man, because we have a word policeman, policewoman, but you don't have a word for midman. It's a midwife.
Yeah.
So all right, cool thing. And yeah, American Indians. I mean, if you look, like a lot of these, how would we say, old civilizations really lived in touch with nature, right? And they didn't divide. That's men are strong, women are intuitive. But they just developed the skills they needed to survive or to live in the environment they lived. So if a man needs to develop, like Karina says, intuition, they trained it and they developed it.
Mm.
And that is the thing, when you see like a cowboy movie, they always has Indians for trackers. Because they were good, they were intuitive, like they saw things that modern man or civilized man didn't see.
Mm. Yeah.
And I think that's like, there you have it. You start dividing men, women, man traits, women traits. The downfall, big downfall in society.
Yes, yes.
And then rather to teach ourselves something as a civilized Western society, we destroy everything that is not like we do. That's bad. You know, you can also see we can go in so many directions, but it's like modern medicine. It exists only for 100 years. An alternative exists since the beginning of man. You know, people healed with flowers, with some roots, stuff like that. And if you do that now, oh, you are you're using alternative medicine. How do I use alternative medicine if a root is out there in nature and you have to make a pill so I can swallow it?
Yeah.
What's the alternative medicine here, right?
Never thought of that, but that's awesome.
Right? So not used to like you gotta kill everything that is strange or you don't understand, or to put it in a certain perspective. But yeah, and masculinity does that as well. So all right, it's a topic that we can talk about and then go into many directions. We saw it, and it opens, I think, quite a few topics we can cover in the future. But as it is of a masculinity, for me, last words would say, don't abuse it. Don't go out there and says this is what men do, and this is what women do. Don't do that. You're not doing anybody a favor.
I agree. Let's be a human first and then everything else.
All right. On top of that, Night Ignition Podcast, the topic masculinity. Over. And see you guys next Monday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It has been a really, really long day, and I'm trying hard to keep the world away. We gotta keep the fire inside us burning safe. Well, I can see in your eyes, losing you, this I can't deny. I don't need you tonight, 'cause I've used up all my time. You've gone away, why don't you stay with me? There's a will, there is a way. 'Cause it's the little things that keep me going on. I need you smiling more. It's the silly stuff that we just can't ignore. 'Cause it's the little things that keep me going on. I need you smiling more. It's the silly stuff that we just can't ignore. It has been a really, really long day, and I'm trying hard to keep the world away. Songs are brewing, time is moving, am I getting insane? Memories are sipping slowly, I remember the day you were gone with the smoke, never came back. So I light my cigarette and watch it burn through the ash. Little things that keep me going on. I need you smiling more. It's the silly stuff that we just can't ignore.